Alright, this is the third and final video comparing the Sigma 17-70 2.8 to 4 to the Tamron 24-70 2.8. This is a sunset test. So I was fiddling around with the settings the whole time, again exposing for the direct sunlight versus exposing for the rest of the shot, the lower third, if you will, or maybe half. Anyhow, this one, first of all, you can see the difference. Okay, on the left, I should say, excuse me, is the Sigma. On the right is the Tamron. Two things stand out to me. One is the lens flare here on the Sigma. It's not present on the Tamron, although that's easily taken out if you choose to do that. The other thing that I noticed, let's go into like here, the blacks are lighter, if that makes proper photographic sense, with the Tamron. It seems to handle, again, with the same f-stop of a 13 and the shutter speed of 250, which again I'm trying to expose for the sky. I can see more of the foreground with the Tamron. So these are basically in descending order as the sun's going down. So let's see if I can compare these two properly. Yep, okay. So again, Sigma's on the left, Tamron's on the right. Not a whole heck of a lot of difference. All I did in this one is I slowed the shutter speed down to a 60th of a second. I guess there's a bit more lens flare on the Sigma than the Tamron. You can see a bubble here, and if you go up here you can see a bubble there. But once you slow this down to 1/60th, the foreground is pretty much the same. So as long as the f-stop is both 13 on these two down here, and same with these two here, all of a sudden the Sigma starts to give you more of the foreground, and the sun is equally as washed out on both to me. And again, I was switching lenses the whole time, going back and forth on the same camera body, the 70D, and it was on a tripod. Hopefully I can make this work properly. I think I did not. Okay, so now, forgive me, the Sigma is on the right and the Tamron is on the left. You can tell by the 24-70 versus the 17/70 if I ever make a mistake in telling you what's going on. So here we have 1/100th of a second at f18. So the f-stop is boosted or raised. So there's less light, a little bit less light coming in. So again, I'm trying to expose for the sky here. And I thought this was one of the photos, one of the two that showed the flare of the sun. Now both had a filter on them, different make and model on the filter. Possibly I should have taken the filter off, but given that it was a rented lens, I'd rather not do that just in case. So I don't know that that has anything to do with it. But on the Sigma, you can see some flare here, and the Tamron is pretty darn clean, very clean with respect to that. There's a bit of a streak here, but there's same thing here. Not a whole lot of difference. And you can see by the cloud here that there is only about a 2 or 3 minute delay between switching lenses. The rest of the sky and all these photos, these trees are my focal point. So I'm not really concerned so much with sharpness, with at least not right now. These are raw, these are not touched up at all. So let's see if we can make this work. Yeah, I want to do that. I want to do that. Okay. So, okay. Just do that one. No, I did not. What is the difference? I'm losing my mind here. Okay. Alright. These are both just f-stop to 20, but they're still at 100. So the same is true. The Sigma has these same flares. Loading, there we go. And the Tamron does not. Not much to say here. All I did was go from f18 to f20. Okay, now this is when it's getting a little bit closer to the horizon. The Sigma's on the right, Tamron's on the left. Same settings, f20, just the sun's getting a little bit less intense, and there's no more flare. Albeit, again, there's a little bit of a time difference, you can see. Maybe about a minute, 2 minutes, if that. But all of a sudden, right here, both look really good to me. I don't know that there's a clear winner other than the colors might pop a little bit more on the Tamron. Maybe, but that's a hell of a maybe. As you can see, I gave these 4 stars because, as well as these two, because they seem to be the best comparison between these two lenses. Okay. Tamron on the left, Sigma on the right. Everything is set to where I would normally shoot a sunset. At f9, 100th of a second, at about 160 ISO, 100, 160, give or take, it doesn't really matter that much. I may edit one of these two during the video, but these are long-winded videos as it is. So these are not touched. Again, it looks like the Tamron is a bit brighter in the raw versus the Sigma over here, ever so slightly, especially at the magic number f8 or f9. So not a whole hell lot to say here. There's no more flare. Both are pretty clean on the sun. I mean, it's hard to say because I'm not timing this perfectly. As far as focus, let's see if it makes any difference now. Or yeah, sharpness. Let's see what 3:1 gives us. About the same. Noise levels, about the same. Not much difference there, at least not to me. Alright, so alright, now this is a bit different. Let's do this. Okay, Tamron on the left, Sigma on the right. The whole time I did this whole test, these 3 videos, the testing, I did it 24 millimeters, and the Tamron locks its zoom at 24, basically for storage and handling. So I left the lock on so that the Tamron is always at 24. The Sigma, because it starts at 17, I did search for 23. So I pretty much never hit 24. I would either hit 23 or 25. That's just a side note, but strange still. So either way, settings the same here. Now the sun has gone below the level of the trees in both shots. Again, the Tamron on the left, the lighting is a bit brighter, maybe slightly ever so, but again, these are not touched up, and all this can be touched up, corrected in Lightroom and or Photoshop. Again, the focus point is these trees. Let's go 3:1 to see what happens. Noise is about the same. Sharpness, still about the same to me. The one thing that kind of I find curious is right below the sun here. Even though this is a bit brighter, I like this color out of the camera and the lens a bit better. And maybe it's just me. Alright. Now, these I'm going to turn into a panorama. I should have done that, I suppose, before I recorded this. But they're basically on the tripod, and they just need to be developed. So let me fast forward to these two over here. Okay. I'm going to look at these. I haven't studied either of these two yet. Now these are handheld. These last four, the ones that are designated with a single star, are all handheld. So I took it off the tripod. It's obviously very low light. It's when the sun was well below the horizon and we started to get the nice pink to blue gradient sky. And again, it's handheld, no longer on the tripod. So my focus point is this here. Right, that little outcrop tree, that little guy popping up there. So, looking at both, well, hello, look at that. That's pretty freaking clear. Literally and figuratively. So, at 3:1 for fun. Now, accounting for human error, I did take 2 of each. So, let's assume it didn't work the way I wanted it to, did it? Sorry about that. Let me zoom back out, make sure I get okay, here's the one that I want to do. Here's a 24. Okay, yeah. Alright, let's give this a candidate and see. Again, I took 2 and 2. Loading. Okay. Now, the settings are the same at 30th, at 7.1 f-stop, and in both of these, the Tamron is noticeably, okay, so the Sigma is now on the right, although I don't think I need to tell you that. Look how nice and clean the top of those trees are versus that. So as far as sharpness goes, at this wide angle, 24 to 25 millimeters, you can't see much, but as soon as you zoom in, it's pretty evident that on the optical stabilization in a low light, the Sigma wins again. Now maybe it's because for me it's a lighter lens. The Sigma's lighter, it's much less heavy than the Tamron, so I'm able to hold it more steady. That could factor into it. There's a lot of user error here. This is very subjective. It's my experience. But let me try and develop one of the Tamron shots. Alright, Let's see if I can find one that I like. Alright, that's so high though. Hold on. That's too washed out. 4. Oh, that's black as black yet. Alright, let's try this one. Just, I mean, this will give you a quick workflow too. I just want to see if I, oh, I'm sorry, I got the wrong one. There we go. Okay. At 20. Really don't want it at 20. Now let's see what this gives us. So this is about where I would shoot. So let's develop this. Sorry about that, guys. Hello. Okay. Alright, so basically you're gonna just get to see a bit of how I work with my landscape shots. Wow, that popped. Okay. Alright, I really did pop. I give it a little clarity, a little extra vibrance. Now we'll go down here and do. Now here, actually, if you're still watching this video, and I'm on the Tamron, when you are in any Adobe software and you enable corrections, it thinks it's a Sigma. So just go into here, hit Tamron, and it'll pick it up. It's a pain in the neck. I mean, all things being equal, it's not that big of a deal. But still, that's just something that you have to do whenever you're gonna enable the profile and then correct it. So we'll clean up some of the noise because I think there's gonna be some. And mask off the sky, so you don't need that to be sharp. Okay, so now that I've done this, these colors are really popping. And again, I focused on the trees. They're pretty soft. So what I'm going to do is, that was just a quick workflow. I should probably separate this into 2 videos. But I believe this is 100.19. Yeah, okay. So now this is the Sigma version. So I'm going to do the same thing. I don't have to, now I'll show you that you don't have to worry about that. It picks what it knows what it is. And there's the Sigma. So while I'm down here, I'll do that. And basically the same thing's going to happen. Thank you. Alright. Sharpen it. Got the same. Mask it off. Okay. And zoom in here. Alright, now let's see if there's a big difference. If I select this, I think I can do it there. Yeah. There we go. Okay. So the Sigma, the Sigma is on the left and the Tamron's on the right. These are edited very quickly, I might add. Now, after editing these the same way, wait for it. The Sigma might be a little more noisy. Maybe. Let's see about this one. I kind of like the Sigma a bit more, but I'm just looking at overall colors. I mean, if you were to print this, once you develop the file, I don't see much of a difference. I mean, especially when you're talking about a $600 difference. I honestly don't see it. So, hopefully, maybe this helped you, hopefully it helped you. What I want to say to end this, though, is the biggest reason that the Tamron lost the battle for me is the fact that while I was shooting, sorry, that's not the Tamron. This is while I was shooting this evening with taking these shots. At one point, I got an error with the Tamron on my 70D body. I was looking through the viewfinder. It was on a tripod, so I really didn't need to look through the viewfinder, but I did anyway. And I saw ERR, and it shut the camera down. Now I had to turn it off, turn it back on, and it worked again. But if I had that Tamron on, and I was looking to do, if I was trying to capture a moment, and I hit the shutter and it said ERR, I'll tell you what, I'd be super pissed off. This, I didn't really care because I'm just sitting in the park taking a picture of a sunset for comparison's sake, so it didn't matter. But I've had the Sigma for maybe close to a year. I've never ever had it throw an error code. I've had this Tamron on loan for 4 days, and I've already gotten an error with it. So, honestly, guys, I don't know how many of you have stuck around to watch all this, or are comparing these two lenses anyway. I mean, I guess they're kind of comparable, except for the price, of course. But the Tamron is not going to be in my bag. I'll tell you what, for all the reasons that these 3 videos have explored, and the final nail in the coffin was the error code. I'm not gonna shoot with a camera that gives me an error code. No, I'm sorry, a lens. Excuse me. I'm like, no. So that's been my 3-part series on comparing these 2 lenses. I might do this more if I get another lens. I might not. I don't know. I just had this lens on loan, and I thought this would be an interesting thing to do, not only for my own sake, because I was going to do it anyway, so I might as well do some screencasts to give you all my impression of what I'm looking at. So, once again, I hope you dug it. I hope it helped. And you listened to my long-winded ass this long. And happy shooting, guys. I'll catch you later.